And now, to cap off the show, the 60th animated film from Walt Disney Animated Studios, Encanto, and it follows the only non-magical member of a family gifted with magical powers as she tries to solve the mystery behind the family's fading magic. Now, Darius, what exactly did you think of this one? Because, honestly, I had a great time watching it, but what did you take away from this? Do you feel like it lives up to, other Disney films?
I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. I teared up at certain moments, but I did feel underwhelmed. I expected a bit more, honestly, from Encanto. And it felt rushed, actually, in certain areas as much as I did enjoy it. I was amazed that I was at the end already. And I was just like, wow, this is a Disney movie that took a turn that it actually felt different compared to other princesses and other Disney animated movies that with musicals in them. Sometimes you have this is a more, if I had to say, even a more grounded and character driven and heartfelt movie because they're not focused on the extravagant action stuff or whatever. This is very much, this is a family dynamic movie. We're in this for the family, not really the other stuff. We're in it because you are special and gifted in your own unique way, even if you don't have a special, unique ability. And I really like that messaging. And again, I like that messaging a lot, which is why I teared up a few times during the movie. But at the same time, it just felt a bit underwhelming because it felt too short in certain areas. I didn't think it gave much more, because as much as I liked Mirabelle, and I think she's one of my favorite characters, I really wanted to know more about the other characters. Like, their power set intrigued me. How they were just operating and how they moved was like, I want to know more about them. And I don't think the movie gave those other characters enough time to breathe, because you have a lot of family members and you want to understand even more. But at the same time, it kind of almost tries to do that, but then it refocuses itself back to Mirabelle and the abuela, the grandmother, and be like, this is really about these two, fixing the internal magic of what makes a family, despite the flaws. And, you have to accept the flaws. And again, the messaging is what was so magnetic to me, because it was just beautiful and heartfelt in so many different ways. But at the same time, I think the runtime was, and even other aspects. The music was actually also another thing that was a bit disappointing to me.
Honestly,
I honestly expected more.
So did I. There was one song
I expected
that I
more.
loved. And there's one, and I don't want to give away, too much, but there's one song during one particularly revealing moment, I'll say that. That song I loved. But in terms of what you're saying as far as the characters, by and large, I guess I agree. I definitely like Mirabelle as a character. I think she's likable, she's charming, and I love how she has to deal with the insecurities of being the only non-magical member, and I can understand being surrounded by everyone else that is that can be kind of intimidating. And again, I really did like that contrast. As far as what you were saying about the other family member characters, I'm gonna be honest. I felt like they did get enough time to shine, so I had an idea as far as who they were, and I did feel like they had their own roles to play, to really just, I guess, establish the immense size of the family, if that makes sense. Because again, it just adds on to that too. Oh man, I'm surrounded by all these magical people, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm still me. I still don't have that gift, so it's just even more intimidating too. And again, I definitely like the contrast between Mirabelle and the rest of her family. I definitely like the tension between Mirabelle and her grandmother, but at the same time, her grandmother wasn't the way she was for no reason. There is an actual fear and insecurity there too, which I really did enjoy as the more they developed that. Something else that I was surprised to learn about this film, because the marketing had it seem that it would be this grand epic adventure where she goes to find out exactly what's going on with the
Yeah.
magic. She'd have to journey off to this far off place, and it takes place mainly inside the family house. It kind of
Mm-hmm.
turns it into a mystery too, if you really think about it. I was expecting an adventure and I got a mystery. So I guess the marketing
I
led me in
mean,
one way, but like I did like this direction instead. It felt different.
yeah, exactly. I was in the same boat. I thought it was going to be this big magical adventure, like we see a lot in other Disney movies, really, as well. But it was more. But the reason, and it's like, and this is why I kind of felt underwhelmed. It was because of what you said, that marketing the grand adventure. But at the same time, I still felt satisfied because it was a movie that actually felt different and was really focused in the drama of this family. Like, as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, yeah, this is a family through everything, the flaws, the insecure, everything, and I really much felt I was there. Again, I think the underwhelming part for me was actually the music. I expected more
So did
music. I think that's what it is for me.
I expected the music to just be better. Like it was fine. Like it was fun. It was entertaining. But I expected it to just be more impactful. Like I said, that one song that I mentioned before. I think it's called Two Origintas. I'm gonna fuck up this title because I don't speak Spanish. Two Origintas or something like that. I think that's what the song is called from that scene, and I thought that was lovely. Like that really got me because like the music throughout the film, I'm like, all right, whatever, this is fine. Then this comes on, I'm like, oh, this feels different. This is nice. This feels great. So
Yeah, and I also like the beginning one with the introduction. I love that music. That just felt like, oh, we're just jumping in. All right, let's go. But again, I like the whole. It toned itself down throughout the film. Again, overall, I really did like this movie. But again, I think Lin-Manuel has just made such a big name for himself recently that I kind of expected more. It's really the music that was underwhelming to me. But again, I had a solid, great time with this movie. This is definitely a film for families to go see. Highly recommend it. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thoroughly enjoyed being with the family. Yeah, I mean that's really as much as I can say. Like it felt like a really solid family drama in a Disney-fied way, honestly. So
yeah. So yeah, I definitely I agree with you there for the most part, I have to say. And again, for all you guys that are still with us, what did you all think of Encanto? Does it stand with other Disney films? Leave your thoughts in that comment section.